So I'm going to give Alex the floor for this one.
I guess Bill asking how we've been wouldn't be the greatest question. Some of you already know, but our third co-host Tilly, she passed away last week. Actually, right. We recorded the last episode on Wednesday, and then on Thursday, unfortunately, Tilly had a heart condition, heart murmur. Unfortunately, with cats, there's really nothing you can do about it. The only things that we could do about it were what I was doing, which was giving her a medicine that really just they weren't even sure if it would work. There's no real science behind it, and unfortunately, came home from work on Thursday. I knew something was wrong and found out that due to her heart condition, she had a basically a I'm brain farting on the term. A blood clot in her leg and in her backside, and unfortunately lost all function of her back legs. And basically what they told me was that there's nothing they can do. It will happen again, whether it be in an hour, in a day, in a week, or a year. And there's nothing that we could do. It was a very tough decision, but I made the one that was looking out for Tilly's well-being the best, and I'm crying. And unfortunately, that decision was to let her go, and let her be happy somewhere else. So I'm sad. I'm probably not going to be as energetic and happy as I usually am in episodes, but I do appreciate all the friends who reached out, said really kind words. I know you all really love Tilly on the podcast too. So I still am not over it. It came really sudden. I mean, Bill was there with me, which I really appreciate because I don't think I could have done that alone, which really sucked. But I'm doing the best that I can. And that's really all we can do. I just want her home. I made the choice to, have her cremated so I could keep her with me forever. Because right now I'm living in Connecticut, but I don't know if I'm going to stay here forever. And we live in a condo, so I don't think they would be okay with us, burying her here. So I made a decision to cremate her. So I'll be feeling a lot better once I have her home. But it's been a pretty rough week.
Understandable.
Yeah. It's been pretty rough, but we're getting there. It will take time. I mean, she was my first baby. Like, I came out of college and she was the first pet that I ever had. And she was there for me when I was living alone, like truly alone by myself for the first time. Like, because I've, lived in apartments in college, but I've always had roommates. And this was the first time I was alone. So she went to Texas with me. She went to Texas and back home and then back into Connecticut. So she's kind of been a traveler and it just sucks. She was only 7, but unfortunately some cats, they get a heart murmur and they're fine. They can live a really normal life and have basically nothing can affect it. And then unfortunately other cats, it is detrimental and it can end their lives. So all I hope for is in the future, other kitty cats out there that maybe the science will get better, so that they can do the treatments they do for people. Because like a blood clot for a human is, it's something that you can treat if you get there in time. So that's all I hope is that in the future maybe they just work on that. Hopefully other kitty cats don't have to go through what Tilly went through, because I had like clips on I have like a camera in my house and I had clips and I got to see it all happen and it was heartbreaking. because there's nothing you can do. And that's like was heartbreaking. But the vet we took her to was emergency vet. They were very kind and very understanding. I think we both were there for a while, a lot of hours. And they just kind of let us cry and be sad, which was really nice. But yeah, so unfortunately, you're not going to hear Tilly on the podcast anymore. And it's going to be hard, but I'm really glad that she was a part of this because then I can go back and I always have little clips of her to watch. So
She'll always be there.
Yeah. She'll always be there. I'll feel better when she's home. You know, once I get her back.
Hopefully that's very soon.
Yeah, I hope so. Because I think it will just help me feel better about everything. Closure. But
yeah. But I thought it was best.
Sorry to start this episode off with a bummer. And I mean, I just wanted to let you guys know because we're all friends, and I'm probably not gonna have as high energy for a while just because I'm still sad. It's gonna be a while.
It's understandable.
Yeah.
But
I guess how was your week, Ben? And please describe to the audience while I just quickly grab tissues because I'm crying. Anyways, Bill, go tell them. I'll be right back.
Yeah, my week was pretty long, and people who listen to Geek Addicts also probably know. Like I joked about it on. See, the timing's always weird because like GNC gets recorded way in advance. Meanwhile, like Geek Addicts is only a week late, and then 3DO is the week of. So it's like the timeline for this is all over the place.
Yeah.
But yeah, this week was long, very long.
I agree with you. It was a very long week.
The weather can't decide what it wants to do right now, so it's like it's either it's raining, pouring, or it's cold, or it's warm, or it's just blah.
Oh, I was talking to one of the guys at work, and he's like bugs are going to be bad this year because we've gotten so much rain, and it's just going to give them so many places to make like homes and nests in. So I don't know. I have a feeling it's going to be a very buggy summer.
Yeah, I don't know. They predict things like this and then it never ends up happening. Like they predicted this winter was going to be really bad because of all the rain, but it ended up being nothing again.
Well, we got a lot of rain instead of snow. That was the thing.
We just got some brutal cold this year.
Yeah, we did. Like, it was more we had to worry about, like, just ice from, like, the rain freezing is more what we had to worry about. Not necessarily snow, but, I'll take it. I'd rather not have to deal with as much snow, especially driving to work every day. I'd rather not deal with that.
Yeah, I had to work this morning, and it was, I was very tired by the time I got out.
I'm with you. I had dance. So we're on the road to nationals. So we started our nationals classes, which we just have an extra Saturday one. And I was just tired. Well, yeah. So I just didn't get enough sleep last night, and then I just woke up and I was like, meh. And then I went to dance, and it was fine. But I was just tired. But yeah, nationals is I think we calculate 76 days until I dance, which seems too soon, and I don't like it.
Yeah, it was a 50-50 this morning. Like my alarm went off, and I kind of looked at it, and I was like, "Do I get up or do I fall back asleep?" And I thought about it for about 10 minutes, and then I relented and got up because I'm going on vacation next weekend, so I need
Yay! We are going to Alabama.
Oh, Alabama.
Alabama. Yeah, you're going to Alabama.
Yeah, at the time of this episode's release, the vacation will have already gone by, but
yeah. Hey. So you'll probably have already talked about it on like Geek Addicts or something.
Geek Addicts or 3D.
3DO.
We'll
talk about it eventually on ours too. But yes.
I've been just really I don't know what it's been. It's like just like this week, I was so tired every day I woke up.
Well, I mean, like, it was probably a lot of it was last week. I mean, as much as it was equally as sad and straining on both of us. So, because I know, like, I haven't seen you cry in a while, and that was the first time I've seen you like cry in a while. So,
Yeah, that was the
when
most
you're
emotion. That was my emotional expel
yeah,
for probably the next like 5 months. So
yeah. So it's very understandable
I
of
had to,
why you were tired.
I had to strong man today after work. My neighbor needed help moving she had like
Aw.
a snowman like lawn ornament thing in front of her house, and she wanted to have it
Mhm.
put away, and she needed help moving it, and she initially was gonna have me like get like kind of like a cart and move it, but I was like, let me see how heavy it is, and I just like strong man picked it up. I'm like, all right, where's it going?
Yeah, let's just go. Let's just go.
Yeah,
Yeah. Oh, I got this new little table. You can see it behind me. This new little charger because I have a wonderful. I got my mom one of these, but I got her at Christmas time. I got her one of those digital picture frames,
hmm,
so that she could always put the pictures of the cats on it and see it like kind of going through the day. So she got me one, and then she helped me get this table, which was really nice of her. So I had a place for it. So now I have Tilly photos on the replay all the time. So it had
nice.
like 4,000 photos. So yeah. So I clearly love this cat a lot. If
I
you
think
couldn't
everyone
tell.
watching the show knew,
Yeah.
but yeah, I've been so I've mentioned it a few times. I'm on kind of a self-imposed hiatus from collecting video games for a bit.
Yeah. Are you breaking
Just
that next weekend if you see something?
maybe only if I see something valuable. I'm not just buying games for the hell of it anymore,
Oh, yeah, yeah. Understandable.
because I kind of was starting to get burnt out with it. And once the hobby stops being fun, that's kind of when I realize I need to take a break.
Oh, yeah.
Um, I can only get so many crappy PS1 racing games before that even that gets old.
Yep.
Um, but I've recently gotten back into collecting comic books, American
Oh,
comics,
yeah.
and
They're a lot
I've
more
been
expensive than manga.
they are, but thankfully I only buy specific trades. So, and
That's
with
good.
comics, the cool thing about comics is I'm primarily a DC guy. You can get the DC Infinite app, and you basically can read everything on an app now. So it's not like I have to collect. I'm not collecting floppies anymore. I'm past. I'm very much past the days of collecting floppies, mostly because the closest comic shop to us that has comics regularly is about 40 minutes away, and I don't feel like driving there once a week. So
Understandable.
yeah, but I'm getting back into comics a little bit just because I needed a change of pace, and for manga, I'm like kind of caught up on all my ongoings
Yeah,
at the
it's
moment
more of at this point you're just kind of picking one up when
when
it's
it
the
comes
next
out.
volume's out. Yeah.
Yeah,
I know
I
that's
mean,
kind of where I'm hitting to.
there's a few series I'm still collecting, but they're just so there's either so many volumes or they're just out of print and they're hard to find, and I'm not really
Yep.
in a desire to like track them down right now.
Yep.
But yeah, other than that though, it's been mostly just kind of calm. I'm hoping the summer really starts because I one of my next big projects is I want to get a new treadmill and I want to start really run training again.
Yeah. I want to start biking again. I was actually thinking if you want to join tomorrow, I was thinking of biking down the river trail because it's opened up again.
We'll see what the weather's like. The
Yeah.
forecast doesn't look promising,
I
but we'll
thought it
see.
said it was going to look nicer tomorrow.
It changes on a dime, unfortunately.
True. But damn it. Because I wanted to do. It says like 55. It might be a little cold. We'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see.
We'll see also what time we get up in the morning.
Yeah. Well, I have to grocery shop tomorrow, so I got to do that. But
Yeah.
I'll
I
get to
did
it.
I did mine after work because I had to for some reason the highway was backed up when I was leaving, so I kind of snuck around the back way and I was going past a grocery store anyway, so I figured I'd just stop there.
Geislers.
Yeah.
Yes, I knew it. Yeah, I well, usually once I start the Saturday classes, I'll go on my way home, but we wanted to podcast before going to the movies tonight cuz guess what movie we're seeing?
Geek Addicts listeners already know. But
Oh, fuck you guys.
we're gonna go see.
Is where it's at.
We're gonna see Spy Family Code White tonight.
Yes. Yes,
And
we are.
our buddy Nave over at Gaming Together has already seen it, and he told me it is amazing. So I'm even more hyped.
Oh, okay. Good to know. Good to know.
Oh boy. But yeah, that's our goal for tonight. The only dubbed
We're going
showing.
we're going to Texas Roadhouse.
No, we're not.
We're gonna just eat the bread.
If you want to be constipated, sure.
No, ew.
Yeah, the reason we're going so late is because it's the only one I could get that was dubbed on the weekend. So
Oh well, I might need a coffee. If I'm gonna stay away, I might make myself another coffee because whew.
Yeah.
Oh, does this have caffeine in it? What are you drinking?
I'm currently drinking a Schweppes ginger ale because it was in my fridge.
Nice. I am drinking a Liquid Death Armless Palmer iced tea, agave, and vitamins. I'm assuming there's tea in it. There's some caffeine.
I think it would say though.
Yeah, I don't see it say it contains caffeine. So it's not microdose of natural caffeine, 30
Okay.
milligrams per can. It does have caffeine.
So there's enough in there to do basically nothing.
Shit. Okay. I might need to go out and get coffee after this.
I might need to have another Celsius before I leave today.
Wait. Do you want coffee? We could go on a coffee run after this.
True.
And then you could. I brain farted. Anyways, guys, thanks so much for watching. It's been a wonderful episode of Gaming Collecting.
Yeah. So we do have.
It was a segue.
We do have a
topic.
We do have a topic for this episode. This is kind of one we've been messing around. So we haven't done a lot of anime or manga focused episodes in a bit.
Yeah, we need to do another anime swap soon.
Yeah, I know it's just been hard because of the timing and everything. But
understandable.
For this episode, because Alex is now very big into manga, we thought it would be an interesting idea to talk about manga artists, because manga artists are interesting, especially considering I've been reading American comics lately. The difference between American comics and Japanese manga is fascinating to me, because like an American comic has a writer and then usually a penciler, an inker, a colorer, and like all sorts of like letterers and stuff. Like it's a big production, and it's really rare that you'll find a writer who also draws his art.
Yeah.
But when it comes to manga, for the most part, there is a few exceptions, but for the most part, mangakas actually, they draw and write their work, and they have very distinct styles. And what makes manga stand out to me is the fact that because the mangaka usually draws, or there's at least one artist on an entire run, like entire book, the art is very consistent all the way through.
But it's also cool to see, like, for some artists, to see the evolution of the art as well.
Yes.
Where it stays, you can still tell that it was made by this person, but it's gotten better, cleaner, and just like a much better product over time, which is always cool.
Yeah, because comics, like they have such strict deadlines. They actually go through some runs on storylines will have multiple artists, so like you'll change, the art style will just change between one issue to the next.
Well, and I feel like it's also good to point out that manga also has very strict deadlines, but it's just a different culture there where they work day to night to get it done. Like they don't sleep like to get their work done.
They also have the benefit of not coloring all the time, which does save a bit of time.
That definitely helps too. But and they do have teams that help them out with some of the stuff as well. But it is, I'd say, a little different where there's a different culturally wise thing too.
But yeah, we thought it'd be kind of fun to just talk about some of our favorite artists for this one because the art in manga is honestly to me one of its biggest appeals because manga art is so stylistically different than any other
Oh
kind of
yeah.
comic form like webtoons or standard American comics.
Yeah. I feel like too, like, not saying that different standard American comics have like different style, like I'm not saying that they don't have any different styles, but I feel like just the styles differences with manga are just so much more like apparent. Like it's just, it stands out so much more. Like the differences between artists and how they draw characters.
Hmm. Yeah, like it, there is a there's a reason why people will follow a particular writer's work to like the end because they absolutely adore their art.
Yeah.
Like, I guess to start off, I'll start with my favorite art manga artist and writer,
Wait,
Rumiko.
I was gonna say that. I was gonna guess. How
It's pretty
how dare you?
it's pretty obvious if I mean, looking
Yeah.
behind me and everything. Rumiko Takahashi is by far my favorite
I
manga
was about to
artist
say
and
I
writer.
can't see any Inuyasha figures, but then I could see them to the other
Or
side.
over there.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Um,
But then I saw them. Wait,
her
I see your best anime character right over. No, on the other side. He's holding a trophy.
shut up. Anyways, so yeah,
I'm trying
Rami,
to make myself
I
happy
know,
right
I
now, so
know.
just let me be happy before I start crying again.
Um, yeah, so Rumiko Takahashi is obviously most famous for her work on manga like Urusei Yatsura or
Mhm. Bikini
Ranma,
lady.
yeah, Ranma One Half, or most famously Inuyasha.
Mhm.
Um, I just always loved her like style because the thing I love is like female mangakas have like you can tell the difference between like a female artist and a male artist in like the manga world. They have very distinct like styles. And I love her like kind of like softer yet harsh like drawing style, like where like she's very expressive and like it works perfectly for her more slapstick style of writing at times.
Mhm.
And it's fun. It's been fun really watching her art go from the start to like where it is now with the Mao, where it's pretty much the same, but she's definitely kind of starting with Inuyasha. She really found a style that kind of stuck. And
Mhm.
to me, it's especially impressive if you watch the anime adaptations of her work because you really see, you can really tell that anime gets close, but there, it is definitely misses a lot of like the freeform like style that like the artwork has.
Mhm. Oh,
So,
oh.
what's your favorite artist?
Well, my favorite. Well, one, it's hard. So I don't really have a top favorite. I love a lot of different artists, but my first one I'll talk about is Oda.
Oh, the
Uh,
artist, the writer of Comey. I knew it.
no, no, not the butt guy. Uh,
But
the
that's
writer,
one cover.
and it's a lot in one cover. But Oda from One Piece. Um, I love watching. Like one of the things about like watching from the beginning and reading from the beginning is like what I kind of said earlier, the evolution of just the art style and the character designs over time, like how he really fleshes them out is super fun. But he also like really gets experimental with his art, especially I feel like recently with like the adaptations of Gear 5. Like I feel like he just really was having fun with it and like really incorporating that Looney Tunes cartoon aesthetic into his work, which has been really fun.
You
But
can
like
see a
I'm
lot of like the inspiration from like Western styles in his art.
Oh yeah. And it's definitely like I pulled up like cuz I knew there's like a bunch of like evolutions of like the style of the art style and stuff, and like looking at the character designs like when their first appearance was to like the end of pre-time skip to post time skip and then like the current, like it's just so cool to see like how it's the same character, but like you can just see that his art has really evolved and he's really like gotten into like, okay, this is my style. Um like I love looking at like the Chopper photos because like Chopper's first appearance, like you can tell that like he didn't want Chopper to be like the cutesy character, but then he just gave up on that and was like, all right. I think the story too is that like once they casted the voice actors, he was like, "Damn it, I gotta make him cute," and he just did after that. Um, but I mean, like, I feel like too, like he just has so many fun, unique designs. Like, I mean, some of them, I will admit, some of them are a little There's quite a few Nami clones out there, but I feel like he does try and make a lot of unique and different design characters.
I think a lot of it has to do with just his faces tend to he draw the way he draws like this, particularly his eyes and like mouths are very similar, but
I
like
think
somehow
too.
still distinct.
I think too, I don't know if this is true, but I think I also read that he ended up dating or marrying a Nami cosplayer, and then that's kind of why everyone started looking like Nami after because because he liked his girlfriend. I don't know if
Eh,
that's true, but
the
yeah.
man has a type.
But I mean, like, there's so many fun. I mean, just the cast of the Straw Hats, where like there's literally a reindeer, a skeleton, the fishman, Jinbei, and like just Frankie being like a half robot, half person. Like, it's just so fun. And I just love where the story is going, and I don't want it to end, but I
I
know it's coming.
I
Not
love
soon,
how
hopefully.
his art started out very loose and it's so tight
Yes.
now.
Oh, yeah. It's like you can tell he's perfected the character designs at this point. But some of it too is kind of nice too because I mean there was like a time skip, so like he did also try to show them as if they did get older and more mature, which is also cool as well.
Hmm.
I love my favorite thing that Oda does. Sorry, this will be my last point. Is just one thing that he'll do frequently is he'll redraw old like manga spread like color spreads.
Mhm.
Um so like there'll be ones where like it only had like the original Straw Hat crew like pre going into the Grand Line where it was just up to Sanji that they have in the crew. And like he'll redraw them with all the crew members included. And it's just like, it's always like, oh, it's so nice. I just love when he does that
That's
because you
always
get to
fun.
compare with the art style too and how it's evolved.
Oh yeah. Now I'd be remiss to talk about manga artists without bringing up the recently late Akira Toriyama.
Yeah, I was going to also bring him up so we can chat about this one together.
Yeah. Akira Toriyama's art is literally like I don't
So
want
unique.
to. It is so unique, and a part of me wants to say it is literally the most iconic, probably manga artwork you'll ever see because it's not just obviously everyone knows Dragon Ball, but he also did Dragon Quest
Yep.
and Sandland, which recently got re-released and is getting a anime adaptation / video game pretty soon.
Aw, awesome.
And then of course his original work, Doctor Stump, which is I think it's Stump. It's either Doctor Stump or Doctor Slump.
I think
But
it's, I don't know. I saw a picture of it, but then it didn't say what it was.
yeah, he has such a unique style, and to me, his biggest thing. I mean, everyone makes the joke he only can draw like 4 faces. Even he admits this himself. Which granted, but a lot of manga artists are guilty of this.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Akira Toriyama's monster designs, though, and just creatures are some of the most. The man could make such unique like designs. Like you look at like going from like Frieza to Cell to
Yeah.
like Piccolo.
Oh yeah.
To like his
Beerus.
new yeah, his numerous monster creations from Dragon Quest. Like the Dragon Quest slime is literally one of the most iconic
Yep.
drawings in video game / Japanese like art history.
Yeah. Even like just Shenron and then like the golden Shenron too, where he's just like this more ginormous creature. Oh, just
I
all the fun characters and stuff.
I also love that the story behind like Super Saiyan, right?
No, I don't know the story.
Super Saiyan was created basically so he wouldn't have to color it as much when he was drawing.
That is
Supposedly.
so funny. I hope that's true because that's hilariously amazing.
It was just a way of him to get not have to color in Goku's hair every time. So he'd just do Super Saiyan instead.
He'd be like, that was easy.
It's funny, you look at like the original his original artwork for like original Dragon Ball, and then you get into like the Z stuff. It's just crazy how consistent he really was throughout the entire run. And even like to the point where there is like so many like artists like that basically try to mimic his style nowadays, particularly the artist for Dragon Ball Super, Toyotaro, who does a very remarkable job emulating the a Toriyama style, but also kind of having his own like unique flair to it. And even then, like his art also, I feel like translated really well into animation.
Well, and one thing I really like too about his art is that it does a really great job about showing the characters like expressiveness and their emotions. Cause like I'm looking at this evolution of his art, and it's all Goku, and just like all just the different faces that Goku makes throughout you're just able to sense his personality, which I feel like is not always translated through a lot of artists. So I think that's something that, like, yes, like the art style, like he had like kind of base faces, but he like really showed the emotions of those characters, which was really nice.
His like the smiles and like the shocked faces, particular, like he just has a look to him, which it's iconic even to this day. Like everybody knows Akira Toriyama's art.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
So what's another artist that comes to mind when you think of iconic art?
Well, I can't not talk about Hirohiko Araki, which was the artist for JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. Because I mean, if we're talking about unique art styles, I would say he's probably also one of the ones that has the most unique out of all of them. Especially to the point where sometimes people don't even realize it's anime. Just because of how unique. I mean, like if you look up if anyone has seen JoJo's, you know it's not your typical anime art style, especially with the Manly Men. Yes.
Style.
But another really cool thing though too is just like, again, I keep talking about the evolutions, but like his style, like even just watching like the series as you go from part 1 to part 2 to part 3, part 4, like each one, like you can see the style is shifting. Because I mean, when you look at part 1 versus like the final part 6, very different in terms of art style. Like it just very, very different, but you can still kind of sense that same, it's still, though it feels like it's from the same show. So even though it's different, it's still like you still love it. But one of the things I think is so cool about his art is that like other brands have just like, they love it so much, like they've added it. Like there's been like Gucci collabs and like famous brand collabs that he's worked with because his art is just so iconic and so different, but also so fabulous. Like he adds so much detail and so much fine tuning. Like even just like the faces, like you can see like there's so much to all of them. Yeah, I could not talk about him.
Yeah, his art is, I mean, you always forget too, because JoJo's has been going on for so long too.
Yeah, it was funny. I saw a post the other day that like technically JoJo's is longer than One Piece in like the manga. Technically it's longer in the manga. Which is, but I think that shows the detail and like how much he puts into the manga. Not that I'm saying Oda doesn't, but like his, like it's shorter in story, but just in terms of like how much he puts into it, it's longer.
Well, yeah, because he puts so much effort into his pages, which
Oh
not
yeah.
saying the others don't, just certain art styles are much more
Oh yeah.
demanding.
Oh yeah. And his is very, very demanding, but in the best way possible.
Hmm. And speaking of somewhat underappreciated yet like very like technical artists in this industry, let's talk about Yuki Tanada for a minute, the artist for Black Clover.
Yes.
Black Clover is an interesting one because I swear this series just gets kind of ignored.
I feel like, yeah, it kind of really bothers me, like how much like it is ignored and like not. I don't know. It just bothers me. I feel like it deserves more hype than it has.
Yeah, like it bothers me because like it is a really well done series with a very unique story, but it kind of because of its slower release and more kind of general overshadowedness, it just gets kind of overlooked these days.
Hmm.
I you know what I like about his art? His characters look different.
Yes.
Like
No, it's the same, like a very unique style. But like, I also think like the character designs in general, like every character feels unique,
Hmm.
which is very rare, except for I'm brain farting his name, but his family. You know who I'm talking about. The poison.
Yes.
Yeah. I gotta know his name now. I'm brain farting so bad. Is it like George? No, it's not George. You
Oh,
know who
I know.
his family.
But that was kind of the joke.
No, yeah, that was the joke. But and that's I was just joking when I said that.
See, his art to me, I love it too because he does incredibly detailed like backgrounds and stuff as well to go with it,
Mhm.
and especially with like Asta's more like crazy designs that he comes up with.
The
It,
faces.
yeah,
I feel
it's
like also Asta's like surprised eyes are very unique. Like his happy
that's
eyes they're very unique to this artist. Like I don't see that from anyone else.
that's a thing too with the with like manga artists too is like the eyes to me are like one of the things that really changes from artist to artist.
Mhm.
Because like every like Toriyama had his very distinct eye style and faces. Um, Black Clovers in particular are very expressive.
Yes.
I really like the then like he does his art doesn't feel like every other manga at the time. Because I will say there are some mangas that we're probably not going to mention here, but you look at the art and you kind of can't tell the difference between the books.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. And I mean, when you watch like some animes too, and you can just kind of see, you're like, okay, this just kind of feels like bottom. But those are the shows you don't really end up finishing, or you kind of drop, or you just go, never mind, I'm not gonna watch this.
Yeah, yeah, that's for sure. So do you have another artist you want to highlight, or
Yes. The next one I wanted to talk about was Q Hayashida, which was the author of most famous for Dorohedoro, but also her newest series, Die Dark. I think like just from watching the show, you can tell that they have a very unique art style. But reading the manga, like wow, like I love the anime, but it almost doesn't do the manga justice
see,
at
my
times.
theory there is the reason they went CG is because they knew they would never be able to do it
Yeah,
justice.
and that's what I totally agree with. They would not have been able to animate it to the standards like of the manga because the manga is freaking amazing. Like just their details and their like way that they draw is so unique and their character designs are so like it's just like special and just like I feel like for a lot of like body horror is something that can either be translated in a very well way or very not well way, and like they do it in a very good way, like of like
Hmm.
wow, like I'm scared, like that creeps me out and I'm scared. um
It makes you uncomfortable to look at.
Yeah, it does, and, just the detail and stuff too, because like, when you look at, like, Kaiman, like, in the first one of the very first episodes, where you're introduced to Ebisu, and Ebisu's just trying to get home in the portal to the Sorcerer's Realm, is like blocked off and she can't leave. And then Kaiman, he does this Kaiman thing and bites her fucking face off. Well, he wasn't intending to rip her face off, but he does rip her face off. And how they animated it versus how it's portrayed in the manga, much more gory. But just even looking at like Kaiman's design in the manga is just like so much cooler and so much more creepy.
He is the lizard man.
He is, but I also love how like he draws the ladies. Like I love how he draws Noe. Because I feel like you don't see like a very muscular lady in a lot. I mean, even Nikaido, but I feel like Nikaido's a little more feminine. But like you don't see a body type like that, and like it's just nice to see like just
that's
something
like
so different and like being like, yeah, like she's muscular and she's my favorite, like one of my favorite characters from the show.
Well,
'cause, like,
I
she's
love
so
how
cool.
they reveal her where it's like you don't know she's a girl at first, and then you see takes the helmet off and it's like, oh, yep, like that's a lady.
That's a lady. But even like N, I love N's design. I love all their design. And again, they're all really unique to the characters, which is really cool. But yeah, if you haven't watched it, I definitely recommend reading Dorohedoro because wow, like it's so good. The details are so good.
Speaking of artists that like their art is like so, the best way to describe it is like disgustingly beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
We have to talk about relatively new artist, but well, not new, but like his most recent work is pretty new. Tetsuki Fujimoto, Chainsaw Man.
Ah, yes.
The anime does a great job of like showcasing his art, but the manga, it's like on a different level.
Oh
like,
yeah.
It is. You look at one of his like page spreads, and it is like so like disgustingly like grotesque, but it's like beautiful at the same time in a really uncanny way. Like there's the infamous scene of like the astronauts that are like ripped in half and their legs are sticking out of one side and the torsos are the other side, and it's like you look at that and you're like, that is fucked. But why is it so mesmerizing? Like just the way he draws, combined with the really unique storytelling. Like Chainsaw Man is a really fascinating one because like I didn't think I'd be into that kind of story, but like once you start reading it, you can't put it down. And like I'm dying for the next volume to come out because I want to know what happens next.
Yeah. No, I didn't put Chainsaw on mine, but that's a really good one that I missed. Definitely.
So what do you got next?
The next one I wanted to talk about was Haruichi Furudate, which is the manga artist for Haikyuu. Haikyuu is the volleyball show. But one of my favorite things about his style, well, you know how like some of the characters, like some of the manga artists, they like make like a little character to kind of represent them in the manga, or like just like for their quick notes at the end. And his is a little bird guy doing like the peace sign, which is like wonderful. But one thing he also does is like for the characters, he like always does like these cute little like chibi animals for them. So he like makes like the main team is Karasuno, and they're like animals, like they're the crows. So like he turns them into little crows, which is just really fun. But his art style is I just really enjoy it. Like he's one of the ones that like he makes the characters very expressive. But you can also see like there is definitely a growth in style change as it went along too, which is really nice. But I feel like too, like it is, I can't get into a lot of sports anime. It's just never been my thing, but I got into the show so much, and like I got into it through the anime, but like going back and reading the manga, like it's just as good and like just as awesome. Like, and for a sports manga, I feel like that's 10 times harder because you're trying to portray something that like you watch. Like sports like are things that we watch. Like you don't read sports, you don't read about like the Super Bowl. You don't really do that. You more just watch the Super Bowl. So I think the way he was able to kind of like translate it into the manga is very well. Yeah, because really I'd never really gotten into sports animes until this one. And I still like. I mean, like there's some where I'm like, yeah, I'll like dabble in it, but it's not something I initially am drawn to.
I
So
think the two biggest sports animes to this day are still, well, sports manga slash anime are Haikyuu and Slam Dunk.
yeah, and free.
Free, yeah, to a degree. Slam
The
Dunk is,
swimming.
well,
Free for different reasons.
I haven't read Slam Dunk and I forget the author's name at the moment, but Slam Dunk
That
always
one's iconic. That
it's
one is
iconic too because it's the same guy that did Vagabond.
Yep.
Like, it's just such an interesting contrast to me.
Yep.
So I guess moving on now, another artist, one that I really enjoy, especially recently, is Aka Akasaka, the artist and writer of Kaguya-sama. And Aka is interesting to me because he actually gave up drawing after the completion of
Yeah.
Kaguya-sama, where he still draws, but he doesn't want to do full series anymore. Because like for Oshinoko in particular, his second series, he has another artist doing the art. Mengo Yoka Yari. I believe that's a she. I think. Not trying to misgender anybody. It's just sometimes you don't know.
Oh yeah. Well, sometimes they don't really let people know for privacy too.
Yes.
Which is understandable.
Sometimes the name comes because I know Japanese names tend to have like feminine names and masculine names. I believe the artist for Oshinoko is a female. I'm not sure though on that. But going back to Kaguya-sama, Aka's art is very interesting to me because he draws things in a way that like it's got this very stark look to it, but it also kind of is like humorous at the same time. Like especially like the way he draws the main characters. Like you have like Kaguya and like Mayuki who are like super intimidating kind of at times, but also like goofballs. And then you have Chika in the background who is just straight up just straight up wacky over there. And it's like it's this interesting contrast where like the art really speaks for the writing, where you read the story and honestly what keeps you going is the really cool writing, but also the just the way that his art kind of like draws you in and kind of flows, because it's one of those ones where I feel like the anime you'd think would be the more definitive way to experience it because of how well the anime handles it. But like for a school manga, it really does draw you in and keeps you interested. Just like his style, the stylistic way that he draws everything, especially considering how many chapters take place in the student council room.
Yeah.
And even then, like he also the way because the first half of the series is very kind of like episodic with the whole like love is war thing going on, and then they get together and he branches out after that. And I think honestly, I'm pretty sure the only reason Kaguya-sama ended as soon as it did is because he just got tired of drawing.
Yeah.
Which more power to him if he'd rather just write. I mean, he'll get his work out quicker.
Yeah. And there's no point in him doing something he's not passionate about.
Yeah.
That's the big thing. It's like, because, who would want to read, something that you can tell that he doesn't want to be drawing,
Yeah. Well, then we can also just be happy, too, that it's a finished series that ended on a good, satisfying conclusion.
That, too, is always nice.
Because there are series out there that sadly have not ended, and in some cases,
may never end.
Tragically, might not.
Yeah.
We might mention a few of those later in the episode.
Yes.
So, what's your next artist?
Okay. Yep. My next one was actually Kohei Horikoshi, which is actually the artist for My Hero Academia.
Oh, okay.
I feel like I want to start collecting the manga for this because I feel like when I look at the side-by-sides of the anime and the manga does not do this series justice. I feel like some of the like the art and again the detail that is put into it. I
Hmm.
mean, especially after watching the most recent trailer, like looking at the side by sides between what's being animated versus what is drawn on in the manga,
Yeah.
it's just the quality level is just so down in the anime. Like just compared to what he can do is crazy. Because I'm like looking
Mm.
at some images of like scenes that I remembered in the manga, and in the anime, and I'm looking at them. And I'm like, that's not what that looked like, and it
Yeah.
like does not like it. Just I feel like it doesn't do it justice. Like I feel like this show could probably be even better um if they kind of followed more of the manga. And one of the things too that I really appreciate is just he really tries to put in different body types. And the manga gets rid of that, which is really annoying because a lot of
You mean the anime gets rid of that?
the anime gets rid of that, which is really annoying because like a lot of the main female characters, like in Class 1A, like have very actual body types, like of an actual person. Like they're not rail thin. Like they have, they're it feels like a normal person. And then like they just like in the anime they just go, no, everyone's gonna be skinny and real thin and we're not gonna do that. And I find it like it's a little frustrating. But I always appreciate
It's unfortunately one of those things where it's probably a budget thing.
well, it's probably easier to animate. In all
Yeah.
honesty, it's probably just simpler, but it's one of those things that like I just appreciate in a manga artist is like, showing like all bodies are beautiful no matter the size, which is great. But I definitely recommend people look at some of the side by sides of like the manga versus the actual anime, and you'll kind of see like there is a lot. There's a lot of like detail that gets missed. And I think it kind
Especially
of hurts the
first.
show.
Hmm. Especially for a manga that very heavily is inspired by Western media, like
Yeah.
Western comics in general.
Oh yeah.
That one
So,
is an interesting one. It's not one I'd probably ever collect just because there's a lot. But
yeah. It's on my list to collect at some point. I feel like this one will definitely have a box set or even like a 3-in-1 at one point. But
I'm pretty sure
it's
there already is
definitely
box sets. But
this is on my list. Is one of the ones I want to collect because I definitely feel like the anime does not do it justice.
hmm. um, so another artist, a particularly new artist, that I wanted to highlight. We kind of indirectly mentioned him earlier, but Tetsuya Endo, the creator of Spy Family.
Mhm.
Spy Family is interesting because like the whole story behind it, where he was suffering from some severe writer's block at the time after having like multiple series like canceled like before taking
Mhm.
off the ground. So he created Spy Family as kind of a way to get through that writer's block, and it ended up taking on this life of its own to the point where it's massive
Yeah.
everywhere. Um,
I
and
mean, it has a
Endo's
movie.
movie, an anime, getting video game adaptations, and
Yep.
like there's a light novel version of it at this point.
Yeah.
Um, the fact that it's huge in America, like that is a big thing right there, because not all animes are. Anime is popular over here now, but not every anime is like holy crap popular like Spy Family has become.
Mhm.
And Endo's style to me is fascinating because like we had mentioned earlier, faces are something that a lot of manga artists kind of struggle with, and they
Mhm.
tend to look very similar. Endo is one of the few I think that like his faces are like what makes his art so unique. Like Anya alone has so many faces that are so jacked up but
Yes.
amazing at the same
Oh,
time.
we love Anya.
Well, it's
Except
also
for
all
Slade. Except for Slade.
yeah, yeah,
Right?
yeah. But I mean, even then, like his like other characters, like Lloyd is such an amazing character.
Oh my
Yor
god,
is a
when Lloyd
wonderful
starts
character.
and I love when Lloyd like I think Lloyd like really became one of my more favorite characters on the Bond episode where he just can't help but laugh at Bond.
Where he breaks character once, like finally.
And I can't wait to see more of that. Like, I want to see more of him, like, losing control and, like, being who he actually is.
Hmm. I won't spoil it because Alex hasn't seen it yet, but
Oh,
there
no.
there's a chapter in the later manga that is absolutely amazing and has some just absolutely
Okay,
absurd.
it's good. It's good then.
Oh no, no, it's great.
I thought you were gonna let me down. I was gonna be like, no.
No, it's such a great great chapter, especially because it has some absolutely ridiculous Yor moments. Because
Mhm.
Yor is such an interesting character because she's a deadly assassin, but she's also like
A
the
goofball.
biggest gits in the planet, which is amazing. Yeah, and I love Endo's art.
Mhm.
So what's another one, Alex?
Then the next one I wanted to talk about was Naoko Taka Takauchi, which is the artist for Sailor Moon,
Ah, yes.
married to the manga artist for Hunter x Hunter. But one I love her art style because it's so pretty. Which it matches the tone of like most of her series, but one of the things I really love is just how she draws hair. Like I know that sounds weird, but like it just like I feel like not a lot of artists like they just looks like so fun and like so pretty and like she just adds like it's very feminine and it's very beautiful and everything she draws is just so pretty. Um but one of the things that like I love about her art is just how much it inspired so many other artists out there.
Hmm.
Because I mean she really was one of the like I don't think she created the like magical girl genre, but I think she really was one of the key stakeholders in making it a genre.
Well, yeah, I mean, when
Like
you think
she
magical girl, you think
you
Sailor Moon.
think Sailor Moon. And she inspired so many other series, but like if you look at just some of her like I want to get an art book of hers because I'm sure there's one out there, but like again, it's another one where, like, the anime doesn't do it justice. Like, she's like, she draws, like, so her art's just so pretty. Like, it's just so nice to look at and so feminine and just it's awesome. So, I need to
Hmm.
get an art book for that for her.
Speaking of her husband, Yoshihiro Tagashi, um,
Yes.
it- I love his art because his art is like a crowning example of how much someone changes over the years.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
because he famously created Yu Yu Hakusho, but then went on to create Hunter x Hunter after he completed that. And you compare his artwork in Yu Yu Hakusho, which is amazing, like such amazingly like stylistic like characters and iconic, just like worlds and stuff. And then you look at his
Mhm.
art on Hunter x Hunter, and it's very clearly the same guy. But
Yeah.
there's just so much like he had clearly refined his style by then.
Oh, yeah. Especially too, as you get farther in the like, as you get like, have you watched the Chimera Ant art yet?
No, I haven't had time.
Okay, once you get to that arc, I don't wanna say much because it will spoil a lot for you, but, like, the unique monster designs that he did are incredible. Like, because
Hmm.
he had to basically create a giant army of these half human, half beast creatures of all different varieties from like a cheetah to a crab to like bugs, like all these different combinations of creatures and like it's so cool that he came up with all of them.
Hmm.
Um it's so yeah. He was also on my list to talk about too, so chick, we got another one.
Yeah, it's so tragic with Hunter x Hunter though. It's like his health issues and everything. We just don't
Yeah.
know what the future of that manga is gonna be.
Especially because like there's just so much more to tell. Like there's so much more and you can feel the passion in his work, you know?
Hmm.
And I feel like a lot of like it's hard to portray that, but you can kind of you feel it while reading it.
Hmm. No, 100%. So what's another artist on your list?
So I wanted to talk about Hitoshi Iwaki, which was the author for Parasite.
Hmm.
Um and I like I love this series. It was one of my first like scary horror series. Like I'd never really gone into horror, but this was the first one where I did, and especially I went in very high level because this was very much body horror.
When
And
you
like I
think
said,
body horror, you think the image of his hand.
oh, yeah, or just like I mean, just like how like in the show, like the premise of Parasite, just to kind of give people more of an understanding, is that basically these parasites from outer space are coming in. I can't remember if it's outer space. I don't, but parasites are coming in and they take over our human host, and their goal is to get to the brain, because if they have the brain, they have full control of the body. And most of the time, a lot of their parasite abilities come out of the head. So watching him draw a person and then their face is coming apart with these teeth and these creepy tendrils and then these like spikes come out of their head. Like it's just like it's that like you don't like that's like stuff you're like I couldn't think of that. Like I couldn't put that in my head, but like how he draws it is so creepy but like awesome at the same time. Um just the creatures he creates from these like parasitic creatures are just like whoa, it's it's awesome. Like it's awesome. And it got me more into that genre of horror and body horror just because of this series.
Yeah, that the image. I mean, the fact that they're doing that series in color right now is super
Oh
impressive
yeah.
too. It
Yes.
just adds so much more to like the whole. I love that. What's even better to me too is that series isn't fucking sealed at the store.
No, yeah. And I wonder though if it will at some point because like I know it's gonna get more. Like the beginnings, I mean it's gory in the beginning, but it gets worse like in other parts too. Like so I wonder what they're gonna do. I wonder. Because like it's definitely one of those ones that I don't think kids should just be able to open and look at, especially with full color. Like
Yeah,
scenes where classic that's traumatic. I don't think a kid should probably be able to access that, but
yeah. I mean,
yeah.
there's a reason why Berserk is sealed.
Yeah. I almost wonder if it will be eventually. But yeah, cuz even I'm looking at just a quick section where it's going from like this guy and he's like I'm assuming it was his wife or something and they're talking and then she's like what's happening to your face? And his face is just going from human to starting to come apart to becoming this monster face to chomping her head off. That's
Lovely.
what happens. Yeah. And like it's yeah, I just like not every artist can do that in a very good way and he does it amazing.
So another artist I wanted to highlight, especially for her very stylistic style, is excuse me,
Bless
Natsuki
you.
Tayaka, the artist for
Mhm.
Fruit Baskets.
Mhm.
And Fruit Baskets is a series to me that has one of probably the biggest art shifts from its start to finish.
Mhm.
Like particularly the start of the manga where she has this very kind of like loose style, and then like by the end it's very refined and like has a very distinct like look to it.
Mhm.
Um Particularly though like the way she draws like expressions and like smiles and like eyes, like Toru's smile is very iconic
Yes. Very
overall.
much so.
What's your next one?
The next one I was gonna talk about was Shinobu Otaka, which is a lady. And she is the artist for Magi and Orient. I really like the art style, but one of the things I really like is that like I don't know, like the way she draws some of the characters, like they just look so joyful. And I feel like that's like you don't see that a lot.
Mhm.
And I really enjoy it. But I also really enjoyed that like it's nice that like one of the first main characters, like he's a kid. And like you can really see like you know how some anime they're a kid and I'm like they don't look like a kid. Like they look kind of appropriate to their ages, which is kind of nice and is different. I mean, like you just kind of get so used to it. But again, like just the different character designs and the different like styles, and like one of the things too is like this manga has like kind of a little bit of like Hindu and Buddhism elements to it, and I think they do it very well, at least Magi does. Or just like I'm not exactly sure, but like but they kind of have like these different non-Japanese traditional elements to it. Like it's more of a like, I would say more of like a Buddhism side of the if there's any religious influence in it. And some of the like designs of the characters are just, they're so cool. Like they one of the things is like if they get a special weapon, I'm brain farting on the right term, but it's basically like they have the power of like this this Mago I'm brain farting on everything right now. But and with that they can kind of do a transformation, and some of them are just so cool and so pretty. And it like also like if it also like she made like a lot of liberties with the designs. Like the characters don't just look, it's not like I'm I'm in a sailor's costume now. Like they're like, whoa, like it actually feels like a transformation. Like they are transforming into something new, which is really cool and really fun because it kind of gives you even more designs to work with. So yeah. And I fell in love with this series pretty recently, and I really enjoy it.
So I'm coming down to kind of my last few here, but I'm like,
yeah, same.
one art, a couple artists in particular I just wanted to bring up too, because I just find it really funny, is the artists that come from the the hentai industry and then become manga artists.
And it's a lot of them. Like it's actually funny how many of them start with right like drawing dojins of other characters, and then that's kind of how they get their start into the, like they kind of prove like, hey, I can do this, and then they get into like actual regular manga, not just porn.
Like one of my favorites, just because of the absolute absurdity, was Nanashi, the artist and creator of Don't Toy With Me, Miss Nagatoro. She there I have no idea what this person's gender is, so I'm just gonna say there. They famously created some really fucked up shit.
Oh boy.
And then out of the blue, she did this like, or they, you know what I mean? They did this really wholesome Naruto and Hinata dojin. That's still a hentai, so don't look it up, but it's weirdly wholesome. And then they somehow just kind of got this like taste for, I want to make something wholesome. And then they made Don't Toy With Me, Miss Nagatoro, which starts off incredibly dark. Like you think it's going to be this really uncomfortable like bullying manga, and then it like just becomes this goofy comedy.
It is actually kind of, I just googled it because I wanted to see like how many. Bill, the creator of Azumanga Daioh, started out doing dojins.
Yep, I knew that one.
Did you know that Rumiko Takahashi also made dojinshis before she became?
Yep.
I didn't know that. Same with Yu Yu Hakusho. He also did.
Most of them did.
It's kind of crazy, but I mean, like for them, it's a very. It's a good start into getting your name out there and showing what you can do.
One that you know in particular is Junko, who famously made the story "Kiss Him, Not Me."
Yes,
and I believe it's a she. She mostly did yaoi before that one.
That makes so much sense.
Well, yeah, if you look at the series. Well, because it's a harem, and if you look at all the male characters, if you took out the main character, yeah.
Now I'm like, I'm curious how many more, but like it's a good, path into getting your name out in the industry. Oh, it looks like the Black Butler author, not Black Clover. Don't worry, Black Butler. That makes sense. That makes a lot of sense.
I've seen enough Black Butler to know. Yeah, that's not a surprise.
That is so fun. I mean, some of them make sense, like some of them do, but then some of them are pretty interesting. The transition, that is interesting. Like, I've never watched Tiger and Bunny, but I've seen pictures of it quite a bit before, so that's kind of interesting that they started out making dojins too.
Like that's one of that's one of my favorite memes you'll see online is like there's a running joke on like Reddit I see every now and then of people over on the Nagatoro subreddit, and they'll always be like, "Wow, I love this manga. What else has the author drawn before?" And everyone's like,
Porn.
"Hey." It's like,
That's so
have fun.
funny.
You're about to be traumatized.
Or very happy,
No, not with
depending
what
on
they
the
drew.
person.
Not with what they drew. Um,
Oh boy.
yeah. But
Um, how many more do you have to go over? Because I don't have that many.
I
I'm
probably have like
still
maybe like one or two at most.
okay. I can probably talk to one or two as well. Because some of
Um,
yours were the same, so you stole some of mine. You thief.
Fair. I mean, there's overlap out there.
Mhm.
Um, I guess I'll just throw out another one. Hiromu Arakawa, the artist of Full Metal Alchemist.
Ah, yes.
I love her art because it has such a soft look to it for such a kind of like complicated and like deep story.
Hmm.
Like just the way she draws like her characters, they all have the very like soft face. Because certain animes and mangas have like very sharp looking characters, and I
Hmm.
love it when they draw them like softer looking because they give them a very distinct look that really kind of just like sticks out. Plus, like her cast is so diverse and like all over the place
Hmm.
that like it really makes it a big part of like the adventure is like getting to meet all these unique characters throughout the whole thing.
Friends you meet along the way. The
Well,
One
then
Piece. No.
they all look so unique too, which
Yeah.
makes it even better.
Mm.
So what's
And then
another one you
they
got?
also make a cursed child that turns into a dog. Anyways. Anyway. I wanted to bring up Geiji Akutami, which the mangaka for Jujutsu Kaisen. One thing I just want to get out of the way is I love his little avatar where he's a little cat, one-eyed cat man, and it is wonderful. It brings me joy. But I mean newer, like Jujutsu Kaisen is pretty newer to the series, to like anime and manga world, and I love their art. I think it looks great. Oh, that's interesting. There's a drawing uh of Yuji and I'm brain farting his name. Uh his brother from another mother.
Boogie Woogie.
Yeah. But uh Yuji seems to be in a full body cat suit and Boogie Woogie Man seems to be in the costume from Rumiko Takahashi's character with the bikini lady. That's interesting. And I think it's drawn by Keiichi, which is wonderful that exists. Um, but I
Talk
was
about
gonna say,
another
like,
series that like makes you love the characters and then
and then just takes them away.
don't get
Um,
attached.
I would say though, the way they draw faces and expressions are very like some of like especially like Sukuna's faces. Like what I find really interesting is that like Sukuna and Yuji, though they share the same body, are so different, like different designs. Like you know what I'm saying? Like Yuji's design versus Sukuna and Yuji's body, different. Like they are just different, like different people. Like it's weird. Not weird. It's cool. It's cool because it really shows the difference between like this is Yuji, this is Sukuna. But
I
some of
love like
Sukuna's faces are like whoa, demented and
I
awesome.
love I love the scenes where like Yuji's like, Sukuna, I need help. And he's just talking out of his little face guard. He's like, nah, you
Nah,
do it by yourself.
no. I also love too. What was I gonna say? Just how he draws like Yuji as like this cute little Togepi face all the time, which brings me so much joy. You know the Togepi eyes.
Mhm.
it's so it's so cute.
It's kind of like Asta's like sparkle eyes.
Yes, when he's in little Togepi form. But I love his designs. Like all the characters like you really like and then he takes them away from you and you're like, God fucking damn it,
in the most brutal fucking ways possible too.
Oh yeah. But even like I'm brain farting on his name, but you know, like the scar guy, the guy who's covered in all like the stitch marks, the patchwork guy.
Yeah, everyone's
I'm
least
brain
favorite.
farting on his name, but even like his design and like the things he does, like the body horror elements of him like turning people into these monsters, like creepy, and like he does it really well. Yeah, but I also just really appreciate his little cat avatar, man. You should really look it up.
Yeah,
brings me joy.
I think that's basically it for me.
Yeah. I guess the only other person we could highlight, I mean, we talked a bit about the author of Berserk, but another one too, I mean, Junji Ito has a very unique art style and a very creepy art style. But like when you see a work of his, you're like, yeah, I know who made that. Like it's so iconic and so scary. Like he is the king of like that
creepy.
Of fear and creepy. Like you read some of his stuff or watch some of his stuff. Well, yeah, some of his anime adaptations are not so great, but you read some of it, like, oh, it freaks you out. Like, and that's like pretty impressive, you know.
Oh, we probably should bring up Masashi Kishimoto. Naruto.
Yes.
He has a pretty distinct style as well.
Oh yeah, believe it. It's distinct.
Well, I mean, you don't have to like Naruto to appreciate his art. Like he has the way he draws characters and like just like the stylish thick world and like the faces. He's another one that is like very iconic to me. Like,
oh yeah,
that all like his tribute to Toriyama when Toriyama passed was really nice. Like,
oh, and I feel like too, we should also bring up like the artist of Attack on Titan, because I mean that also has very unique art style, very iconic. Same with even the author of Bleach as well. Like I feel like there's no characters that look like the Bleach characters, and same with Attack on Titan, both very unique to their style. Are ones I also wanted to highlight on. And then as a good closer too, is I love when other artists draw other characters.
yeah.
Because I feel like that really showcases the differences in those styles. Like some of my favorite threads to go on Twitter or Reddit are like just the other artists drawing in other styles. Because it's so cool. Like it's so fun to see how they take the character and work them, but also like just shows like how unique their art really is to each other.
Oda's Goku is hilarious.
Oh, but that was really sweet. I mean, because like they've collaborated on, like they had crossover episodes. Like it shows like they must have been pretty close, and it's just, or like one of the cool things right now is like they're doing they're making a manga adaptation for Ace's story, which was a novel. But Oda isn't drawing it. It's actually the author for the mangaka for Dr. Stone. So it's honestly like it's so cool. Because it's cool to see these iconic characters in such a different style. And I know like too, like, are you looking up any images of it? Like it's cool to see. And they as well, also the artist for Dr. Stone, I'd say also has a pretty unique style as well. But I feel like that's kind of what we're getting down to, is the main point of like, I don't think there's really any artist that doesn't have like their style, you know.
Yeah, it's part of what makes manga such an interesting thing, is like you get really attached to this one look, and like you basically follow it and its evolution through its entire story, which makes it super unique, especially compared to comics, which go through a vastly different art style and approach over the years, because a lot of books have different artists switching out through and through.
Yep.
But yeah, it's fun just looking at all the different art styles and
oh yeah,
especially it's the way they complement the writing. Which,
well, it's even fun to look at like some of the fan creations of them like taking other people's styles and drawing characters in multiple different versions. Like
Hmm.
it's cool to see. Like it's cool. It's cool.
Yeah, like some of my favorite like memes you'll see go around. It's like you take the character and you draw it in like all the different styles.
Yeah, I'm looking at one for Luffy right now because I have a One Piece problem. But it's like Luffy in One Piece style versus Bleach versus Demon Slayer versus Naruto, My Hero, and JoJo's. The JoJo's one is hilarious.
The JoJo's ones are always like super over the
They're
top.
always like so like left field because that just shows like just the art range is so different. Like the fact that you're looking at all these different characters and they're all considered anime and they all look so different is just so cool.
No, 100%.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that was a pretty fun episode. Like just getting into more manga talk.
And I'm glad it took a happier turn too, because it was a really depressing start. And I'm sorry if I made anyone sad in the beginning. But yeah.
It's better to get it out there.
No, yeah, it is. You want to hear something that's kind of makes me happy?
Sure.
I haven't worn this jacket in 2 years because it didn't fit, and it fits, and my arms don't feel like I can't move in them. So
that's good.
Hooray!
Nice.
But yeah, so we'll leave things on a happier note. And again, I just wanted to say thank you to all the people who reached out and left really nice messages, whether it be on my Instagram, Facebook, or our server. It was very kind of you. I read them all. I may not have responded to all of them just because I've been crying a lot and it's been hard. But I do appreciate all of you. I'm glad to have this community of friends. So
yeah.
And Bill's gonna insert a montage of all Tilly's best moments on the podcast at the end. Right, Bill? Oliver sounds. Please make that a thing. Please.
I'll see. I'll have to like go and dig into the archive and see if I still have some of them. But yeah, so once again, guys, thanks for joining us on the Gaming Collecting Podcast. The Gaming Collecting Podcast. I just realized my video went blurry.
Yeah.
God damn
what
it.
You gonna do?
But yeah.
Blur, bag blur. What you gonna do? I don't know why the Cops theme has been in my head, but this is the third time I've sang it this week, so I've never watched Cops. I don't know why. Anyways.
But yes, you can find GNC Podcast on all the major podcasting platforms, particularly Apple and Spotify. We're also on YouTube. And you can join. You can find all of our links at linktree/thebarbarwhogames, or you can come join us over at the GNC Podcast Network Discord server to talk all things GNC, 3DO Experience, Geek Addicts, talk gaming, anime, or just general nonsense. We're all very
crying.
Nice.
We can cry. Can we have a cry channel where we just cry? It's just everyone going.
I'd rather not. Just let's be positive.
I want a cry channel. Sometimes it's good to cry.
Well, you turn your water bottle channel into it.
No, that's the water bottle channel that I forgot about.
But yeah. Once again, though, guys, thank you for joining us, and we will see you all later.
So long. Farewell. Bad boys, bad boys. What you gonna do? What you gonna do?